Hey guys, welcome back to Tiny Disneyland. In this episode, we're going to venture off into Adventureland. So this past week, I basically built all of Adventureland except for one key attraction that I'm still debating on constructing. But I kind of got the urge to do Adventureland because I did say in the last video I was going to work on the hub area, but that didn't happen. Because I got the inspiration to work on Tiki Room and kind of just go from there. So the first thing we see here is Tiki Room. The Enchanted Tiki Room, kind of built it as just a facade. There is no ride in it. It's literally just a building and guests walk in and walk out. It's a one-way road. So there's really nothing to it. The pieces that were used in this build were mostly the shrub pieces. You can see here on top is the roof. I wish... Again, being vanilla, it was very limited on its angle of roof, but I'm okay with that. I will live with it. The other thing that I worked on, the other pieces that are kind of like noteworthy, probably is the new oval piece that we had from the 1.10 update. That was very useful in getting some of the like organic shapes that I wanted for the Tiki Room sign. So that, and then the entrance to the land itself. Kind of did a interesting thing with this border piece here. This is the curved one. This is the metal one actually, and I stuck cylinders or discs inside it to kind of fill it in, and that was actually a really cool idea. Then we got the Tiki sign, a Tiki head here on top of the Adventureland sign, and it was just kind of a way to see the transition between my main street to Adventureland. And the other close-up things would be like, here's the one of the tree. I forgot what the tree is. I think the tree is a god. I have to brush myself up on Tiki Room again because it's been a long time. But I kind of just copied the tree. I had some reference pictures that I was following. I used some gumdrops for the flowers, and these little plants are supposed to drop and show I think the children or something. I'm not sure. I should have researched this before starting this recording, but I'm basing this off of the memory I have from Disneyland. Yeah, I want to say it that is what it is. I don't think I added... Yeah, this little booth here actually is supposed to be a Dole Whip stand, but I didn't put a... I don't think I put a vendor in. Nope, no vendor. The other key things about... like most of the stuff is like made of pillars, cylinders... and tire pieces to simulate rope. That's kind of like the little details that I'd use. But yeah, it's just the Tiki Room, very generic based. It kind of got me going, and then kind of venture on to the rest of Adventureland. So the first area of Adventureland, technically speaking, is like the split here. So you have this road here. This goes off to Frontierland, and this road goes off to Adventureland, and this kind of goes down to their main boulevard of Adventureland. And so I just kind of copied the buildings that I had on my system. So I went exploring, found some pictures of the main bazaar building. That's one of the gift shops, and kind of just pulled from it. And then with having the standard that I put in the beginning of this project, having the toy aesthetic, so doing the simple details really helps with deciding what to do and what pieces to use, and not go overly like detailed. So like for example, this arch here is supposed to have like brick that's exposed and cracking, and the stucco is falling off. I'm going to skip that detail because I don't need it. It's not important for the toy aesthetic that I'm going for, but getting the shape of the arch properly is what I want to try to portray. Again, the back of my mind is that if it's looked at a glance and a normal person sees it and they're like, oh yeah, I know what that is, that's Adventureland, then I've won. I did a good job on portraying that area. And yeah, that's just the basic process that I go through. Every single building goes through that questionnaire, and I go from there. And also on the same hand, I'm dealing with the vanilla aspect. What can I pull off in vanilla and what can I not? And so that kind of goes from there. There's some cool pieces that I want to highlight. This lower roof, this roof here is actually the fantasy roof that we got from the 1.10 update. Very useful for doing tile roofing without doing shapes. And I like that I could be able to use that. It was really great. Some things over here for like the So this is the South Sea Traders, and then this is supposed to be actually the Indiana Jones shop. I just didn't label it because I didn't feel like I needed another sign. And then the Bengal Barbecue restaurant here with a thatched roof. I don't know what yeah, it's a circular thatched roof, but I kind of wanted to make it tall, really tall, because actually in real life it's not this tall. But I used this new spire roof piece, and that was just kind of a fun piece to use and to kind of make it exaggerated. Like I made it like bigger than it should be. It didn't need to be, but I kind of gave it character. And I like this mashup between these architectures actually, because Adventureland, I think their original idea was to make it like a port of cultures clashing. I think that's what they're originally going for, and I think that's what they went for. I do like the aesthetic. I also want to... This project is mainly based off of Disneyland Anaheim because that's the one I've been to the most. I basically was raised at Disneyland in Anaheim, so everything in this project will represent that park to a degree. So let's go across the street and go look at Jungle Cruise. Now this was made by a user and a friend, EFG9. He's a really great builder. You can see some of his projects on some of the diorama build challenges. I'll probably leave a link in the description below of some of his projects. And they built the Jungle Cruise house for me. I didn't expect them to do that. It was kind of a surprise. They did a really good job. I added some details and things to give it a little bit more oomph. Like I changed the top of the roof because I felt like the roof wasn't representing its true shape. So I did that. That was fine. I changed, I think, the color of the roofing a little bit to make it a little bit darker. But that's it. I added the Jungle Cruise sign with an image that I found on the internet. Add some pavilions on top to give it some more structural reasonings why this would be up here. But everything else has been original for these buildings, and I was trying to find a way to incorporate them into the rest of my Adventureland. And it looks really well. Like if you looked at it from like a normal person's perspective, you would think this was all built by one person. And that's kind of what we're going for. If we're going for the point where everything in this park is built by, it would look like it's built by one person, but maybe it's built by 7. You wouldn't know. But maybe that's the goal, actually. Because that would be really cool to kind of pull that off. So there's the Jungle Cruise station. I did some backstage areas. I did a boat docking area. Kind of just want to do some small bits of realism, but nothing too crazy new, not too detailed either. It's just very generic, basic. But the big thing that I had to do this week was the Jungle Cruise ride itself. And that was a big undertaking because I had to figure out what scenes I wanted to show and which ones I could pull off in vanilla. And that was the difficult decision making I had to do most of the week. Building it wasn't hard. It's the decision making that gets me stuck, or I think it happens to any builder actually in a creative game in general. You just get stuck in the decision making process and you don't know when to go from there. So I knew from the get-go, I knew I needed to build the temple area with the tiger because I think that was very iconic. The Indian elephant bathing pool is another iconic thing. And then I chose between two different... Well, I had some other scenes that I wanted to portray, but I didn't get to do it because of the spacing. Again, this is also just a simplified version of Jungle Cruise. I wanted to try out making a tipped-over Jeep and the camp that the gorillas kind of take over. And I think the Jeep looks great. I like the Jeep. The Jeep's my favorite piece. But I didn't put gorillas in, and I wasn't comfortable enough making gorillas or especially in this scale. Like, it would look weird with the shape, so I just kind of opt out. No gorillas. But there's a Jeep that's flipped over, so there's a scene here. Stretcher Falls needed to always be in my Jungle Cruise because the waterfall is very important. It's a kind of iconic and a thing for Jungle Cruise, and it's a running joke, right? The eighth wonder of the world is the backside of water. That's the joke. So needed to have that. And then I debated between having either the African area with the lions and the zebras and the giraffes, the hippos, or the headhunter tribe. And I kind of wanted it more. I want more peril in this Jungle Cruise version because there was no threat or like story-driven beat. So I think I wanted to try to do this, and it was actually easier to do this in vanilla than let's say making animals, because there is a diminishing return with making animals out of shapes. When it comes to shapes, the smaller the shapes are in game, it is harder for you to do details versus something that's gigantic. So just imagine if I built an animal out of the shapes of circles, right? Let's go look at shapes real quick. Circles at size 200. Oh yeah, 2 or 2. Yeah, 202. 2 is this scale. I can do more details with this scale. It would just be one gigantic animal. I mean, it would be as big as the map. But I would make it basically realistic at that point. But if I was going for a smaller scale, like 10, this is harder to work with. And especially with the stacking, how it's done, it's not going to portray well. So I opt on not to do another animal. That's why the elephants over here are statues, because I'm trying to use pieces that the game already provides. And at the end of the day, if it just portrays what this is supposed to be Jungle Cruise, I've succeeded. I'm okay with it. So this is Jungle Cruise, and then I put in all the trees, and I like that everything is kind of just solidified. It just tells me it's Jungle Cruise. I'm in love with it. So on to the next couple things. So Indiana Jones Adventure was already placed in, like, in the beginning of this project, and I had to just kind of incorporate it into the rest of Adventureland. So I added the Jeep out in front from the movie, the generator, and the entrance pavilion that the ride provides. So that's the entrance to Fast Pass and Standby. I just kind of want to portray it. It's nothing too crazy detailed. Like, the signs are just cubes. Nothing too crazy. This Jeep is kind of a little bit oversized, but I kind of want to make it cartoony because, again, this is a toy representation of Disneyland. So making details a little bit more bigger than they should be kind of brings the charm to it and makes it look like a toy. Again, with the guests in this game already with gigantic heads, I kind of want to lean on that. Lean on the toy aesthetic. Same thing with like the snakes. I honestly, so funny. I was like looking through my stuff and I forgot that there's a snake statue. I easily could have just used this and been done. But I wanted to use new pieces, and I found it funny to use the dino head for the snake's head. I don't know. I just found it funny, and I found it like, oh, cool. I'm using weird parts to get to my end goal. That's what I wanted to do. So the fun thing about Parkitect, especially in vanilla, is the problem solving that you go through. So let's say, for example, the snake. There's two solutions. So it's either I take the snake statue, color it, and put it in. There. Okay, I'm done. Yay, that took, what, 5 seconds? Or I can take the extra effort and build a snake out of shapes and use a dinosaur head to be the cobra's head, and then use cylinders and discs to simulate the cobra's I forgot what it was called, like crown thing or whatever it's called. I don't know the exact name of it, but you know my point is that I could have easily used the statue versus just building out of shapes. So I did that, and I think it was kind of fun. That's the whole fun part about Parkitect, is that what I love to do is the problem solving bit. So this is all of Adventureland so far, except for what I'm missing is the Swiss Family Treehouse, which is supposed to go here. I am debating on if I'm putting it in or not. We will see, and it most likely will be just a walkthrough because there will be no ride attached to it. So that means guests will just walk through it one way and come out the other way. So they'll go up the tree and then down the tree. I might do it. We will see. But I'm not like hooked on it. If I go look on research on the Adventureland Treehouse, then I might do it. Some other things that you noticed, that I have this lava pit here. This is a pre-planning phase for Pirates of the Caribbean because I know I need to build it in this corner, and then kind of build a small version of New Orleans right here, and then go up against Haunted Mansion. But that is still like in the pre-planning phases. There's really not much going on besides that. Some other updating things was like I kind of made this quick facade layout for, let's say, Frontierland. That will probably change. I started some work over here for the Frontierland entrance. That will probably change because what I'm going to find out is space restraints, especially in this size of this map and other things. that's fine. I will take care of those hurdles when I get there. But at this point, with the weekly updates, it's been pretty strong on getting basically. So our first week was the entrance area. I did this week 1. Week 2 was Town Square. Week 3 was Main Street itself with the hub. And then week 4, we're sitting at Adventureland. So this has been pretty good progress. I'm just trying to see here. What else? I kind of was planning out some Fantasyland stuff, but that kind of just sits here. I think I want to work on the castle next so I can get this area more grounded. The Tomorrowland area hasn't been seen much anything. I'm still planning on... I need to maybe like finalize where the People Mover is going to go and then finalize the railroad, because this is not finalized at all. This is absolutely garbage that I kind of just made a quick layout so I can watch the trains go in circles. But I need to restructure that and kind of just... Yeah, because I don't have... Actually, yeah, because with this turn here, there will be no space for Submarines, Autopia, and Monorail. So this actually would have to go all the way to the edge of the map and then kind of keep it there. Because actually, once I get the railroad kind of solidified, I think it will be easier building. I also have an idea of maybe not doing the trestle for Critter Country anymore. I think I want to do is make this track go all the way out, make a gigantic turn, because you can with the railroad, and then just keep the Critter Country contained beyond, or keep it contained with the railroad. So the railroad won't rip through it, the railroad will just go around it. I kind of like the idea of changing up my layout. And then I had some thoughts about the river, that the river might get cut here. This goes bye-bye, and then loop this around in an L-shaped river just to kind of have better space saving measures. But I will get to those areas when I get to them. They're just pre-plannings. Nothing's permanent over here. But once you get a place like Adventureland finished, things are kind of already now turning realistic. Like, I can't not... There's no way I'm going to redo this now. This is done. It is solidified. I am happy with it. And we're going to continue forward. So I think I'm going to either work on... I have a couple choices. Here we go. I can work on Pirates of the Caribbean, or I can work on the castle to get the hub area kind of finished. Maybe if I work on, yeah, the front of Frontierland, like the 2 towers and the entrance that says Frontierland, the castle, and then the front of Tomorrowland with Plaza Inn, then we can leave this and be done and be happy and then go from there. But we'll see what I feel like for the next week, because right now California's going through a heat wave and it's kind of hard to work in heat wave when I have no AC in my house. We will see. Cross our fingers. One other thing I would like to show you is I was working on parking lot placement, just placing down shapes or roofs just to making a parking lot. And then I was very inspired to build a very retro Disneyland sign, and voila, there it is, the tiny Disneyland marquee. I think this is cute and it's adorable, and if you guys want this on the workshop, let me know. I'll just post it on the workshop as soon as I get an answer, because I think it would be great for people to use. It is a fun little build. The pieces that I used were windows, actually. Just windows placed behind each other to get rid of the, the square bit. So that's what I did. I made windows, and it's just kind of funny. And then these are the regular text window from the Taste of Adventure. So you do need that DLC, unfortunately. If you don't have it, I highly encourage you to go buy it, because the DLCs for Parkitect are pretty solid. Because everything in this build is DLC. Yeah, there's a lot of DLC items already in here, I can already tell. Especially with the jungle stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I have built Adventureland. So if you guys like it, hit like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Share with friends. This project's been fun. I will continue to do this with a weekly update as promised, because I think it helps me move on to the next thing, and I will just continue doing that. So I'll see you guys in the next episode of Tiny Disneyland. So I'll see you then. Bye.